What's going on?
What's up, dude? How are you doing?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Good. Thank you for sitting down with me.
Absolutely.
I apologize. I got a half day off of school today and I messed up the times.
Hey, not a big deal. Half days are the best, though. I remember
Yeah,
that.
they go so fast.
Yes.
Did you get them a lot at your school?
No, we had them. I feel like we had them like maybe once a month, maybe once every other month. It was like a random Wednesday.
Yeah, that's exactly how we have it. At our district they give it to us like the last 2 days of the quarter and then they give us like one random on a Wednesday too.
Yeah. Huh. Dude, I love that hat, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
I wear it for every Firefighters one and I like it.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Thank you. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we have an interview with Blake Morgan of the Firefighters. Thank you for sitting down with me, Blake.
Of course. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I don't know if you know yet, but could you please tell me about your role with the Firefighters and what you would expect your role to be this season?
Yeah, so I'm gonna probably be an arm out of the pen. I'm not sure, when it comes to whether or not that's how they viewed me to begin with. I've got a few tricks up the sleeve that I'm looking to use. So, but other than that, that's my guess. It's gonna be something out of the bullpen.
Cool. Would you rather be a bullpen arm than a starter?
That's a great question. So here's how I always word my answer. Okay, whatever my role is on the team where we win is the role I belong in. So as long as we're winning, that's where I'm at.
That's smart, because you need to be able to do whatever can help the team.
Exactly.
Is there like one though that you lean towards that you feel like is more fun or easy to prepare?
And I loved closing games. The energy, um, the situation stuff is just it's a blast. So closing the game is probably my favorite.
Especially in Banana Ball with all those fans and the last inning with the showdowns and the golden batter.
Yeah, I want those bad.
Yeah. Which stadium are you most excited to pitch in this season?
I'm gonna have to say Wrigley. Wrigley's gonna be incredible. The grass outfield wall. I mean, it's gonna be immaculate.
Yeah, dude, it looks so pretty there too.
Yes.
What time of year are you going there? Do you know?
Golly, that's a great question. I want to say sometime in the summer, like early summer, maybe. It's like right in the middle of our schedule, I think.
That'll be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna like try and collect some dirt and keep that one day?
I would like to do that. Yeah, that would be a really cool idea to do at every pro park I get to play at. I think this year I get to play at Wrigley and Comerica Park up in Michigan. So those would be two big name parks that I get to play this year.
That's awesome. Who are you most excited to play with this season?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so we'll go we'll go all parts of the field. So behind the plate, Zachary Bridges. I played with him back in college. This is
Really?
like a 7 year reunion. So he actually caught my bullpen yesterday. So behind the plate, Zachary. In the infield, I'm excited to see Peanut. I think he's going to
Yeah.
do some incredible things. It's going to be fun to watch. Giving up a ground ball and whipping your head around to watch that magnificent play go down. And in the outfield, Noah Bridges, right?
Yeah.
Another 7 year reunion. So it's going to be incredible to see. I'm looking at Zach throwing a pitch, and then I whip the head around on a pop fly, and I see Noah out there do something insane. So it's going to be sweet, man.
That's awesome that you got to play college ball with Zachary and Noah.
Oh yeah,
Were you guys like, did he catch your bullpens then too, Zachary?
yeah. So he actually caught me in game at UNCW, Wilmington, North Carolina. And then also Noah also played right behind me in the outfield, center field.
That's awesome. As a pitcher, does it make you kind of like strikeouts are cool, but want to make you want them to put the ball in play more so you can see guys like Peanut and Noah Bridges make plays?
Absolutely, and it keeps the pitch count down.
Yeah,
Yeah, soft barrels is what we hunt as a pitcher.
yeah. Can you personally do any trick plays?
Yes, I've got a couple trick pitches up my sleeve. I've been working on a backflip
That's
pitch.
sick.
That's going to be pretty cool. I'm also looking at doing something where I'm flipping forward. I don't know if you've seen any of that stuff, but I want to do some kind of like front punch, which is basically just a running front flip. And I want to land on top of that mound and let the ball rip. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at.
That'd be sick. What gave you that idea?
A gymnastics coach. They
Really?
yeah, they taught me a backflip in about 15 to 20 minutes, and
Wow.
like I think you could do more. What would you say about this? And I was like, hey, if your mind can dream it, I'm willing to try it. So that's what we went for.
That's awesome. Have you tried it at you're in Savannah now, right, too?
Yes, I am.
Have you tried it there at the spring training?
I have not yet. No, I have yet to go to the gymnastics gym down here. I'm working on getting something like that set up, and then once I get that going, I'll probably give it a go.
That's awesome. So, like you just said, you learned a backflip in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's sick. What were like three tips to help you? Because I'm trying to learn one right now.
Okay. So step one, fearless. There can be no negative thoughts in here. It is a I'm gonna get it done, and no matter what happens, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna try again. Obviously with a little bit of a rest. Tip two would be make sure you have a good spotter or a good coach to help you kind of walk you through the specific things you're doing wrong. Like for me, my biggest issue is going up, right? My arms don't care to swing me up in the air. So he's like, man, you got to get those arms up. Use your arms. So I did a lot of like seated arm thrusts. So basically, you sit down like in an L position where your legs are straight, like you're going to stretch your hamstrings. And I just did a bunch of like fake throws with just the arms, trying to get my whole body off the ground by just swinging my arms up, and that really helped.
Wow. Yeah, that's impressive. My brother does like professional parkour, so he's been helping me with the spotting, and he's been like, "You just gotta send it." And I'm like, "Dude, I need more help than that."
That's right. You just got to send it, baby.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
on the point now where you can just like rip it off the bat?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you start in like a foam pit at the gymnastics?
No, I actually started. I don't know what they call it, but it's a running board that goes onto a mat. And then from there, I did like maybe three on that, and then I went straight to the spring floor or the
That's
floor they call it.
that's awesome. Good for you, dude.
Thank you.
No problem. Who are you most excited to play against this season in Banana Bowl?
Team wise or person wise?
We'll go both if you're good with that.
Yeah, of course. Team wise, I am excited for the Clowns. They
Yeah,
have some incredible guys, not only on the talent side, but on the fun side and the energy. Like, man, I think that game is just going to be electric. It's going to be being able to sit there and either pitch against or just sit and watch is going to be an incredible thing. Person wise, this is a tough one. Let's see. Mm, I'm gonna have to say I'll go with Coach Rack as number one, right? Because
yeah.
huge, he's incredible. The things he does are amazing. And then number two is gonna be let's see. There's so many guys. I'm excited to see Vinny pitch for the Clowns. He's another guy like me that's over the age of 30. He's got kids and he slings the baseball, man. He does. And so I'm excited to see him too.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude, Coach Rack on like his socials and just like Banana Ball, he's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, he's a great dude.
Are you excited to face Jackie Bradley Jr. by chance?
I am. I would say I'm a little nervous.
Yeah,
That dude's got a repertoire behind him, and so I think it's going to be super exciting. Regardless of the outcome, it's a special moment. So that's
yeah.
going to something that I just kind of sit in and I soak the incredibleness of it.
I think it's so cool what he's doing because he had a heck of a career in the big leagues, All-Star World Series, and now he's in Banana Bowl. And I think we might see like other players from the MLB go to Banana Bowl once they retire.
Yeah, we may. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. The
Yeah,
future always brings something bright.
exactly. If you could get one like MLB player to join the Firefighters, who would it be?
Oof. I would love to pick Clayton Kershaw's brain. That would be the guy.
Especially as a pitcher like you two, lefty, that'd be awesome.
Yes, that would be an incredible thing.
Yeah. If you had like an hour with him, what pitch would you try and learn that he has?
Ooh, his 12-6 is something that
Yeah.
is just you can't recreate. So that's the one I'm going with.
Yeah, I play MLB The Show with my friend, and he always pitches Kershaw, and I swing at that curveball way too much.
I love that.
It's like a free out for him, and I can't like not swing at it because it starts so high.
Yeah.
Um, which hitter are you most excited to face? Like we just talked about playing against, but is there one dude you like want to get out really bad?
Mm, I wouldn't say there's a specific guy that I would care to get out. I think really when it comes down to it, I'm more excited about relearning all the ins and outs of each hitter themselves. That was the fun
Yeah.
part of being a collegiate baseball player was being able to read that team's BP, and say, okay, this is probably how I'm going to pitch him. This is going to be how I'll pitch him. Things like that. That's the fun side for me. So I wouldn't say a specific hitter. I'd say every hitter in the league because they're all incredible.
That's awesome because some people just think you can go on a mound on a start day and just throw fastballs by people, but sometimes you look at their swings and you realize they hunt that inside pitch, so you try and go outside.
That's exactly right.
Do you think that would come like, let's say you're out of the bullpen, do you think that would come by just watching the game, or do you think you're gonna need to be on the mound a couple times to see that?
A little bit of both. I mean, the analytical side really, like when it comes down to watching hitters, you can kind of see their approach, and,
Yeah.
and that's really what kind of gives it away. And so when I'm watching guys hit BP, it's are they doing the little things right? If so, then I'm gonna have to kind of mix their eyes up a little bit, make them look up to go down and things like that. But a guy that just is a pull guy only, it's okay. This guy's a little bit easier to beat.
Yeah. Can you tell like off their swings at all? Like let's say they're out on their front foot on a changeup, like, oh, this guy's a heater hitter.
Yeah. So for guys like that, it really comes down to the staff and whole. Like, guys coming off the mound and saying, hey, just so you know, so and so is having a hard time seeing spin. Don't be afraid to start it there. So now he's looking for it, and then you can beat him up with a fastball. So kind of things like that is what helps you learn a hitter a little bit faster than just going out there and pitch on the mound a few times against them.
That's awesome. So you pitchers talk to each other about what they see with different guys.
Oh, absolutely. Whatever it
Cool.
takes to help each other win. That's the
Yeah.
goal.
You're all one team and it's that common goal.
That's exactly right.
Who do you think you look up to like as a leader? It doesn't have to be on the Firefighters, but in Banana Ball once the tour starts.
So I haven't had an opportunity to meet everybody yet, but out of the guys that I've met so far, I would say Ben Dunn is a great guy to look up to. I've definitely kind of started to veer towards him more, trying to pick his brain some. And then obviously Zachary Bridges, just because he's such a
Yeah.
close friend. And I've seen him grow as a man from the college kid that he was to the man that he is now, and it's an amazing thing to watch. So definitely gonna be by his side a lot too.
That's awesome. And you have that like kind of chemistry with Zachary because you were on the college team with him.
Exactly.
About how many guys like percentage if you know are down in Savannah but right now?
Woo. If I just had to take a wild guess, I'd say it's above 89%.
Oh, so there's a lot down there.
Yeah, yeah. Most of us are here. I think report date or first day technically is considered tomorrow. So I want to say most of us are here. There might be a few that aren't due to flight situations or family situations, things like that. But I believe
Cool.
most are here.
Yeah, for some reason I saw like all over people's socials, but I thought the first day wasn't until like the 20th or something.
Oh yeah. No, we are. We do have like I don't really know what you would call it. Maybe like an inter squad or a spring training, where we're going to get started, and that's going to be somewhere around the 20th. So that
That's
might be,
all.
yeah.
That's awesome. Are you excited for that first spring training day and tomorrow?
Yes, absolutely. I threw my first bullpen at Grayson Stadium yesterday, and it was electric. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Their energy just surrounds you. It's crazy what it feels like. But yeah, I'm definitely excited. I think I've lived at the field more than I've been at my own house lately.
That's
Last week.
that's awesome. So with that bullpen and stuff, like how did you train going into the off season to join the firefighter squad?
Okay. So when I trained, I focused on being quick to the plate. In between pitches, also trying to eliminate as much time from me getting the ball back to the next pitch as possible. That was definitely step one. And step two was, I would throw any bullpen that I would throw. It was kind of like 30 pitches, fast pace,
Yeah.
and then those 30, I would slow myself down and I would then start to work on trick pitches and things like that. So maybe I throw another 10 or 15 of trick pitches. So the back flips and then some extra glove work, stuff like that.
That's awesome. Was it hard to like go from like in college ball? I don't know if you worked fast, but like you could catch it, think about what to throw here to now in banana ball, catch it and go right back on the rubber.
So that is actually how I worked back in college, which is the funny thing.
That worked out for you.
There's a few YouTube videos of me pitching, and I didn't realize that I moved that fast back then. And coming full circle with Zachary, he's like, dude, you've always worked this fast. Like this, it works, And so, for me, it was just kind of like get back into that routine of keeping that pace. And now it's more along the lines of learning, hey, I'm going to throw this sequence of pitches, not necessarily throw a fastball and then say, let me think about what's next. Instead, say, I'm going to throw a fastball. If it's a strike, I'm going to throw this. If it's a ball, I'm going to throw this. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Because some dudes like to think, and you just like, do you think it helped prepare you for when this tour starts?
Yes, absolutely. I think it will.
Cool. Do you like, I know you said you didn't think you worked fast, but looking back, did you work fast, like not just in college, but in high school and your whole career?
I would say yes. I did actually.
That's awesome. That's a blessing in disguise.
I know, right? It all lined out for this.
Yeah. So did you have a draft party when you got drafted to Banana Bowl?
I did. I did. My friends slash coworkers, they threw me a party at our venue that we have. I think we had about 250 people show up, maybe. We had a fire truck come, of course,
That's sick.
we had to. And we just had a blast, man. It was a good time.
That's sick. Did you know you were gonna be on the firefighters, which is why the fire truck came, or did you just like have a bunch of stuff for other teams?
So we had a bunch of stuff for all the teams, and then the moment that the firefighters picked me, we reached out to a friend of ours that is actually a part of the fire department down in Texarkana, or one of the branches, and he said that he would try to make sure it happened, and sure enough, he made it happen.
That's awesome. Did you know it was gonna happen? Like, did you know the fire truck was gonna come, or did your friend set that up?
I did know that was going to come because we had reached out to we had a few buddies that are in different sections, or squadrons, I guess you could call them. And so we all kind of reached out to each one, and then one of them got back to us as a group. So it
That's
worked.
that's awesome. To your friend, thank you for your service.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. So speaking of like service, the firefighters kind of represent fighters as a brand. Do you have any plan like on how to honor their service to the community and just represent firefighters?
So as of right now, I don't personally have any ideas, but I'm sure that that is in the work,
Yeah,
and definitely will be one of the first guys to make sure my name is thrown in that hat to be chosen to do something like that. Because that's what I did back at home was I taught kids and I did all of those things when it came to lessons and fitness. And so I love doing things like that.
that's awesome. It's a good way to like show what they do for the community and represent them.
Yes, absolutely.
Who do you think will be the funniest guy on the firefighters this season?
Mm, the funniest guy. I'm gonna have to say it's like a mix of G and Ron. Those two guys together. I mean, they just they're insane. They're incredible. They're hysterical. They're good people.
That's awesome. I just interviewed Ron the other day. He was so funny even in the interview.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys too where like he's like not saying it's a bad thing, but he's loud, but at the same time he's quiet sometimes and he picks his spots.
Yes. Yeah. He delivers well, as they would say.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
How many autographs do you think you will sign this year for fans?
I would like to set a goal of at least 1 million. Yes, I would love that.
That's awesome. A million's a lot. How do you plan on like staying after the game and representing and making sure the fans have a good night there?
My goal is to be the first off the bus and the last on. I think if I think that if I can get that done, then I can hit 1 million.
That's awesome, dude. Did you practice like your signature in class when you were bored?
No, but I did sign quite a few at the draft party. And so I refined it in that route.
That's awesome. Is it simple or is it like hard to write kind of?
No, it's super simple.
Yeah. I'm trying
Yeah,
to think of a good one. All I have right now is like my initials and then my number.
yeah. I go by BMO, and that's what I do. BMO 37.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
How do you think you'll balance like winning on the field and also like we just mentioned being with the fans and being entertaining?
Um, I think it's going to be like a juggling act. You know, sometimes I'll start with the field, and then sometimes I'll start in the fans. I think it really just depends on the game itself.
That's awesome. When you mean like the game itself, do you mean like if you're starting or out of the bullpen?
Exactly.
Do you think there's like some days will you be starting and out of the bullpen, or do you think once spring training starts you'll lock into one role?
Um, I'm not really sure. It could be either or.
Cool. Would you rather like I know you said you'd rather be a bullpen arm, but would you rather like be locked into one role or kind of trade off days?
I like trading off because you get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. You get to start and be a closer.
Exactly.
Cool. Um, as a firefighter, would you consider water to be wet?
Absolutely. There's
Really?
wetter than water.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it isn't though, kind of, because like you feel it on you, but at the same time, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if we're getting theoretical here, water is just a compound, and it can't be wet until it makes contact with something else. So that being said, we're kind of leaning toward your side where water is not wet.
I didn't know that it couldn't be water until it made contact with another thing.
That's my guess.
Wow. That makes sense because like yeah, that's a good way to think about it actually.
Yeah.
How did you go from like pitching in college ball and just having, like I said, making stuff there to now being a banana ball and just going out and pitching?
So I have not been in college since 2019.
Really?
Yes. So I have been working as a dad. I've had multiple different jobs, some sales stuff, and then baseball lessons, some coaching on the side. And then I got the opportunity to come and throw. And so now it's not really necessarily a job to throw anymore. It's more of like I get to. And so the mindset has changed, which has allowed me to kind of change the way I work on the mound.
That's awesome. So not being in college for 7 years, what like got you this opportunity with the firefighters?
So I actually started throwing again when my buddy made me play in a men's league with him. And from there, it turned into playing in like a hybrid summer ball league with college guys. Um, and that kind of gave me a sign that I was still competitive enough to do this, but I like to have fun. So it was like, what's
Yeah,
my best route? And I filled out the form, made my video, got to the tryout, spoke to Coach Pye beforehand, and he gave me the opportunity to come to that tryout. And I did the rest that I needed to do to make the draft happen.
that's awesome. To go from like no college ball for 7 years to a men's league, was your like arm sore at first and then it got better over time?
Um, it was sore a little bit right when I started throwing. But I had been working out for those 7 years as well, staying fit. And so I really attribute that portion of it to being able to have such a quick return when it came to throwing off a mound again.
That's awesome. Did you have like any issues at first with like velocity or landing curveballs and off speeds?
Off speed, yes. But not velocity. No, I was actually surprised that my velocity didn't go anywhere. It was kind
That's
of my it was kind of mind blowing.
that's really like awesome because some like even if you take a couple weeks off, your velocity normally dips a couple ticks.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I told Coach Pye. I was like, look, I don't know many 29-year-olds that haven't been playing that can still throw as hard as they did back in college. And I was like, there's a reason God is still giving me this talent, and I'm not sure what it is yet, but all I know is I'm going to follow in His footsteps. And so
That's
that's what.
awesome. That's awesome. Sometimes we don't see it, but he has a greater plan for us, like which is why you stayed in fit.
Yes, exactly right. He wanted me to mature a little bit more, is how I visualize it.
Exactly. And now you're getting to play banana ball, which is awesome.
Yes, and I'm going to be able to touch as many people as He possibly puts on my path and bring joy and great things to them. And I'm so thankful for that.
Absolutely. And that's like the other cool thing about banana ball. Like, of course, you don't want it to happen. There might be a couple days we have an okay start and it just doesn't go your way, and then you get to like flush it and go sign for a ton of fans.
Exactly. I was actually having a conversation with one of the teammates the other day about that. He was talking about how he'll come off the mound or something from the year past, and he did awful. In a game he did bad, and he was like multiple people came up to him and told him they were his favorite player, and
Wow.
he's just blown away at the fact that it's like the outcome didn't matter in any sense. It was who he was and the presence that he brought. That is what they were really paying attention to, which was kind of an eye opener of just like understanding to live in that moment and don't feel pressure. Don't let those things swallow you whole. Just live in that moment and love every second of it.
Yeah, dude, that's true because like I've heard it from other dudes with these interviews. They say like growing up in the minors and even college ball, when they have a rough outing, it like sticks with them and they have trouble forgetting it. And then get to banana ball and it's like, dude, these fans they want to see competitive games, but they don't really care. It's like, how can you make their night?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for us, we're competitive. We're always going to
Yeah,
be competitive. But at the end of the day, like you said, it's about the fans. I mean, we're here to bring joy and happiness and entertainment to the
yeah.
fans, and we'll do anything we can to make that happen.
The whole reason you're here is because of fans first.
It's exactly right.
So when you went to the tryout, did you like dress up or do anything out of the ordinary that you think helped you get a spot?
Yeah, so I'm not sure how much it helped me, but I was wearing a vest. I wish I had it. I did not pack it. My wife did not want me to. Uh, but it was it's a cutoff vest, like a puffy vest. And then I had some joggers on that matched the same color. And then I wore my Scooby Doo socks and I tucked my pants into my Scooby Doo socks. And when someone asked me about my socks, they said, "Who's on your socks?" I said, "Scooby Doo," because that's the only other person I know that likes to eat the way I do.
That's awesome. Have you had the Scooby-Doo snacks?
You talking about like the graham crackers?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
those
They're
things are,
yes,
yeah, those things are so good.
yes. You got to be careful, man. You'll eat a whole box in one sitting. That's what I deal with.
Because they come with like the little packages and then you eat a couple of those and you're like, dude, I'm not full.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a favorite Bible verse by chance?
So I do have one that's actually on my left arm. It's Matthew 19:26. It's through man, some things are impossible, but through God, everything is possible. I would say that verse has gotten me through a lot of tribulations that I have been through in my life. It's just a constant reminder that, no matter what situation you're in, you don't always have to make yourself be the one to do it. You can always trust in God, and He will be there to walk you through whatever you're going through.
That's awesome, dude. I've never heard that one, I don't think.
Yeah, Matthew 19:26.
My personal favorite is Philippians 4 through 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I like that one because like even if I have a bad day or just like something that's tough ahead, I realize he'll walk through by my side through me and I can do it.
That's right. That's right.
And kind of like what we talked about earlier, even if I have a bad day, we don't realize what's ahead and he has a greater plan for us.
Yep. And we have no idea the people that we've touched, even though we were going through something hard for us. We don't imagine maybe there's somebody on the outside that saw us handling that situation and it helped them trifold, for them to see, oh, how he was or how she was during that situation is how I'm supposed to be. And so, we go through things not just for ourselves, but for the people around us.
Exactly, like our struggles, people like can look at us and be like, "Wow, this guy handled it well with his head up." And in reality, we were struggling on the inside, but God like pushed us through it, and it kind of set an example.
Exactly.
Do you think you'll be asked to sign like, I don't know, but maybe a firefighter's hose this season?
I have no idea. I'd love to. I know that.
That'd be
I'd
sick.
love to sign it and then use it.
Yeah, that'd actually be sick.
Yeah, it would be crazy.
Yeah. My last question for you is I'm gonna ask this to everyone from now on out, but what advice would you give to your younger 12-year-old self?
Ooh, good question. I would give the advice of staying strong-hearted, staying strong in your faith, and believing that whatever you're going to go through in life is a planned situation, and to just always know that the future is bright on the other side.
That's awesome, because that's some big things like we might, like I just mentioned, we might struggle, but we can get through it, and then God will be the biggest reason why we do it.
Exactly.
That's all the questions I have for you. Do you have anything for me?
What got you interested in doing a podcast?
So, to be honest, there's not like one thing I pinpoint on, but I think part of it is I've always like since I was 7, I've always had a YouTube channel. I've been a diehard into baseball, so I started making baseball content. And then I want to say it was 2023 or 24. My dad got us like bananas tickets just to go see a game, and I
Yep.
realized that these people were like so fun and awesome, and I realized that like I started reaching out to a ton of people on Instagram just to of the possibility to send out an interview, and then so many just kept trickling in, and I realized it was so much fun.
Yeah. Okay. Second question.
Yep,
Which bobblehead is your favorite right behind you?
that's a good question. Um, that's tough. Do you mind if I take a look at them real quick?
No, of course, go for it.
I'd probably say I'm a huge Corbin Carroll fan. I don't know if you can see that. It's him in a Star Wars costume for Star Wars night.
Yeah.
That's probably up there. What else? I probably I'd probably say that also this Derek Jeter one because it was my great grandpa's who got it at a Yankees World Series game and then passed it down to me. So that's
Wow.
probably my favorite right there.
Yeah, that's an incredible story right there. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a diehard Yankees fan.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. If you could see any Major League Baseball player playing banana ball, which one would it be?
Who? There's a couple that come to mind. I'm gonna say Corbin Carroll because I love him,
Okay.
but I'm not a huge Dodgers fan, but I just think like Shohei Ohtani on like the Bananas or the Clowns or the Firefighters would be awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree. Another guy I'd love to pick his brain and learn
Yeah.
that he does.
To see him like pitch and hit, that would be wild.
That would be pretty insane.
Yeah. You got anything else for me?
I don't, Isaac.
Cool. I just wanted to say thank you for sitting down with me. You are awesome.
Thank you, man. I'm glad. I'm thankful that I got this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
Good luck with this upcoming spring training and tour.
Thank you so much.
No problem. See ya.
Bye.